Mexicans share a kinship to black people in Africa.
That's right. That's right.
What do I mean by that? Well, when you go down into Mexico, you'll find that the real Mexicans, they don't look like the Mexicans you see on television.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Go ahead.
They really don't. They're really dark-skinned people.
That's right.
They got broad noses, thick lips. Their hair is thick. You know, it's not as curly as ours, but their hair is very thick.
Yes, sir.
Skin very dark. When you go to, my wife and I went to the ruins in Tulum. The ruins in Tulum, that's an ancient civilization in Mexico. They have pyramids. Did y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
They have pyramids. Where else do they have pyramids?
Go ahead.
In Egypt. Meaning that the same people who built the pyramids in Egypt built them in Mexico.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Think about this now. And the thing about the pyramids, which always amazes me, and you know, the devil calls them one of the 8 wonders of the world because he still wonders how the hell we did it.
Yeah, that's right.
But the thing about the pyramids that we really should think of, whether they be in Mexico or in Egypt, is that those are where we buried our dead.
Right. Yes, sir.
Think about that now. The pyramids are the cemeteries of our people. So what did the real civilization look like?
Wow. Yeah. Go ahead.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, man, we buried our civilization so the devil couldn't borrow nothing from it.
That's right.
So there's civilizations that are underneath the sands in Egypt that they haven't even unearthed. We showed them where we buried our dead.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
Go ahead.
So there's a kinship. The Mexicans are only Mexicans because the conquistadors, or the Spaniards, white people, aka, conquered them. That's why they're called conquistadors.
That's right.
They conquered them, and just like we were given the names of Englishmen for the most part, they were given the names of Spaniards.
That's right. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
There's a kinship there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes,
so
sir.
the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, when asked, brother, dear Holy Apostle, what should we teach the Mexicans?
Yeah.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, teach them the same thing I taught you.
Yeah, that's right.
Teach them who the devil is.
That's right.
Teach them who God is.
That's right.
Teach them the knowledge of the time and what must be done.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that is your brother.
That's right.
The native and the Mexican is basically the same people. That's the same people. Again, caught up by the Spanish or the conquistadors. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Now, here's the other thing about unity. Is we have to not only unite with our black people here in America, but we have to unite with all of our black people all over the earth.
That's right.
Even though a lot of times there's a little friction between blacks in America and a lot of time our African brothers. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes we feel like they're just a little bit too arrogant.
Yes, sir.
I'm reminded of that movie, Sugar Hill. Y'all remember that movie, Sugar Hill?
Yes, sir.
Snipes?
Yes, sir.
And the African brother was talking head about Wesley and his brother. He called them some cotton pickers. And Wesley Snipes and them character they got it all up in their teeth over that. But we have to unite with our African brothers. We have to unite with those brothers and sisters who are from Jamaica, who are from the Isles of the Caribbean. We have to unite with black people all over the earth. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or Master Farad Muhammad, who's the founder of the Nation of Islam, when he came and he found us, he called us the lost found Nation of Islam in the West. Right? Which means that somewhere there's a Nation of Islam in the East, a Nation of Islam in the South, a Nation of Islam in the North. That we were the lost found Nation of Islam in the West. Meaning that we needed to unite with all of our people. On the heading of the paper, he had a picture of a black man in America with his arms outstretched, reaching over to a black man in Africa over the entire diaspora. Because we need to unite with all black people. Those are our people, whether they know it or not. We know it. And so when we have knowledge, we have a responsibility to let every one of our people know. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, and this is just an example, because we talked about how the Mexican had been bitten by the same dog we've been bitten by. There's pyramids in Egypt, pyramids in Mexico. Well, my wife and I, we just went on a vacation. We came back from a vacation a few weeks ago. And I talked about this a few weeks ago, but many of you weren't here, so I'll share it. We went to we went on a cruise, a Carnival cruise, right? And one of the islands that we went to was Jamaica. Another island was Grand Cayman. And then we also went to Cozumel, right? Jamaica was the most interesting to me. One, because my stepfather's from Jamaica, so I feel like I have some roots there. And we learned more about what was going on in Jamaica than any of the other places.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Jamaica, without going into I'll go into the economy a little bit, just a little bit, just to give you an indication of what our people are suffering there. Because we're suffering here, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And what I mean by us suffering is, even though the American economy seems to be doing pretty well, it's always our people who are at the bottom.
That's right.
Is that right? Can you bear witness to that?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Well, in Jamaica, we were riding with a brother and a sister. You know, we got off the boat and we wanted to go to the beach. So we jumped on a tour bus and we were riding with a brother and a sister, very knowledgeable, who was giving us the rundown on the Jamaican economy, right? The sister and the brother had asked us what we do, and we told them. My wife informed them that she's a nurse. And he was like, brother, let me give you a picture of what a nurse or professional people make in Jamaica. And he said, a nurse in Jamaica makes $150 a week. American. $150 a week. That's a professional person. That's not minimum wage. That's making good money. Wow. $150 a week. And we said that was our response to Brother Solomon, like, wow. Wow. He said, well, let's put that in perspective, because maybe you think that the cost of living is that low. He said, a gallon of gas costs $6.
How much?
Wow.
He said, a gallon of milk costs $8.
That's more than Hawaii.
Wow.
We like, what? How do you live?
Yes.
He said, brother, in Jamaica, the interest rates, if you desire to own a home, because most people don't own a home, the interest rates are 16.5% to 25%.
Wow.
We like, what? What? Couldn't believe it. We said, well, how do they live, brother? He said, well, man, most people just build according to their means. If they, whatever money they make, that's the type of home that they'll live in.
Right.
So he took us to the richest parts of, we were in colonizers, began to penalize them economically. So the reason why your interest rates are 16.5% to 25% in Jamaica is because the American and the British and the Jewish controlled International Monetary Fund and World Bank dictate your interest rates.
Right.
You owe them money, so they raise them up way high to where you don't have no ownership of any homes in Jamaica.
Nothing.
Does it sound familiar?
That's right.
Wow.
But the conditions are so poor that when Jamaicans come over here and they see how we have it,
Yes, sir.
see, we at the bottom here, right?
Yes, sir.
But in comparison to the way that they live it, we got it pretty damn good.
Yep.
So they look at us as if there's something wrong with us.
Go ahead, brother.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
See, there's a disconnect because we don't have the proper information.
Yes, sir.
There's a disconnect because we've just been brought up in a different place and in a different space, and man, I ain't know. So that kinship has to be there. We have to be able to look at our Jamaican brothers or our brothers from Trinidad and Tobago or from whatever island they're from and say, look, brother, I know it seems a certain way in America, but this is how it is over here. See, they bit us just like they bit you.
Yeah, that's right. Go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
We just in a little better condition.
Yeah.
Because economics dictate. See, what happened here that didn't happen in Jamaica is they didn't have servitude slavery in the same way that they had here.
Yeah, that's right.
See, by having servitude slavery from 1555 to 1865, 310 years, the Americans were able to build up such a strong economy
Yes, sir.
that it makes the whole world envious. But that's what happens when you get to work up people for free.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You get in a very advantageous position.
Yes, sir.
And the thing about it, of course, is they didn't bring just no manual labor over here, man. They brought those people who constructed the pyramids.
That's right.
They said, okay, well, build me a house over here.
Yeah.
Lay out the layout for Washington, D.C.,
Yes,
Brother
sir.
Benjamin Banneker,
Yes, sir.
for free. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at that just from a business standpoint, dude, that's going to make you rich.
Yes, sir.
If I could work, not just 10 people or 20 people, but you're talking about hundreds of thousands, millions of people for free.
Yes, sir.
You don't ever have to pay them? Ever?
Ever.
You don't ever have to give even their offspring or their progeny down the line. You don't have to pay them either.
Never.
you just get to keep everything?
Everything. Everything.
That put them in a hell of a condition, brothers and sisters.
Right.
A position that's envious all over the world, so that now Donald Trump and the rest of these people can boast that they're the only first world economy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Now, you got some people chasing now. You know, China and them Asians and North Korea and Russia, they on their heels right now.
Yes, sir.
But America got a cold head start.
Yes, sir.
And see, when we learn this knowledge that was given to us by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and we're able to give it to our people, then that levels the playing field. Because now we become united.
That's right.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And listen, we can unite and take over this whole damn country
That's right.
and not have to ever fire a shot.
That's right. Go ahead, sir. Yeah, go ahead with that.
I want y'all to think this over.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Because if you built it, if it's built upon your backs, then it belongs to you.
That's right, sir.
Yes, sir.
If it's built upon your backs and your labor, then you're the only thing that's holding it up.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Did
right.
you all know that?
Go ahead, go ahead.
See, if we were united, say we just decided, all 40 to 50 million of us, because it was 17 million, now it's 40 to 50,
Yeah.
probably more than that. You know, the devil do lie in
Yeah,
terms of how many black people there are in America.
Yeah.
If we decided, you know what, we ain't gonna pay no taxes. I mean, just think that over.
Yeah.
What would happen if we just decided, you know what,
Not just-
we ain't gonna pay no taxes.
That's right. Yeah.
We gonna call it reparations deferred. We just not gonna pay no taxes.
Right.
This whole system, we collapse.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Yes.
And if we get with our black and our brown and our red brothers, and this is what we do realistically, we say, because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan already gave us the answer as to how to separate.
That's right.
He gave us the answer. We just have to be willing to do it. And it's very simple, but we have to be willing to do it. We have to unite and be willing to do it. The first thing that we have to do is make up our mind that we are going to take charge of our families.
That's right. Go ahead.
That's the first thing,
Yes, sir.
right? That's individual. We can take charge of our own families. Once we do that, then we begin to take charge of our own neighborhoods. Is it possible?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
It's absolutely possible.
Yes, sir.
And you could go on the west side right now. It's surprising. I was surprised to see it. Because I didn't know. But on the west side, right around Federal and